Paso, of course.
Of course, I'm talking about El Paso, Texas.
You know who holds the attendance record for El Paso, who sells it out every time they go there?
I got a feeling you're going to tell us this week. Chavo Guerrero giving young Ken Massey a wrestling lesson. And Chavo is certainly qualified to do just that against anybody he steps in there with.
Well, maybe some people like Ken Massey, not like us. Good reversal by Massey there. See both of them locking into that arm. What they need to do is bar it to secure it, and that way they won't be able to do those kind of reversals.
I've said many times, Chavo Guerrero, pound for pound, may be the toughest man in wrestling.
Good leg trip. Now a step in, over, back on the leg. Good move by Guerrero. Mexican wrestlers are known for their speed, known for their size. Whoa, good spinning leg drive.
Chavo is so well versed, and obviously with his amateur background in wrestling, coaching, he's got a tremendous amateur background, but he can mix it up and then likes to do that. He likes to fight as well as anybody. He's got that temper, boy, I tell you.
Yeah, and he probably likes to eat tacos and burritos every day for breakfast, too. Good snap mare there. He's got Massey going. Now, look, there's some strength. Picked them up and slammed him. Massey's no midget. Guerrero's definitely controlling the match, but Massey comes back. That's what I love about wrestling. You never know what's going to happen. Massey slammed him, and they're eyeing each other up right now.
In El Paso on July the 14th, will be at a West Texas swing in early part of July. Lubbock, Texas on the 15th. Odessa, Texas on the 16th of July. Big three-day tour there in West Texas. Looking forward to that. Chavo Guerrero. Ooh. Now, what do you call that, Michael?
Well, I just call that knocking him down. He used his weight. Looked like he might have gone for the Luthez body press. Didn't quite get it, but his momentum off the rope still got the guy. Now he's picked him up. He's got him up in the backbreaker. Whoa, what a move! A backbreaker over to a slam. That's got to be it. 2, 3. That was one fantastic move. I don't like Chavo Guerrero, but I'll give him some credit where it's due.
He's a phenomenal athlete. He'll be home on July the 14th, and we'll be back with a very special segment involving Cowboy Bill Watts right after this timeout. Wrestling Federation last week, well, it was one of the most dramatic moments in the history of the UWF. Michael Hayes and his brother's unprovoked attack, 3 or 4 on 1 on Cowboy Bill Watts.
He just walked down bad street.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Cowboy Bill Watts, we've put a feature together. We also have some comments from the Cowboy. I'd like for you especially to listen very, very closely to this. The great All-American from Oklahoma University. He knows it's on the line, and Bam Bam catches him coming in with a kick to the solar plexus. Michael Hayes now is dangerous. He's coaching at ringside. Hayes is on a different plane than most, but there you see, there's Cowboy Bill Watts. Dr. S.C. Williams' mentor, and Watts is now going to the ring. Things are definitely even now. The big cowboy from Bigfield, Oklahoma, encouraging his protege, encouraging Dr. S. And Dr. S with a clothesline. These two phenomenal athletes have hammered and hammered each other for the UWF Heavyweight Championship, and the doctor's back on his feet, and it is a dogfight. Williams, Dr. S with a tremendous tackle, and it took not only Gordy out, but the referee. There's Cowboy Bill Watts circling to get Tommy Gilbert back up in the ring. Bam Bam has taken a pounding from the doctor. What a tackle. He is awesome. What an awesome athlete is Dr. F. And Michael Hayes has tripped Dr. F from the outside. And Michael Hayes, and there's a Cowboy. Cowboy Bill Watts walking tall with a right hand. But there's no referee inside, and this thing is breaking down. Dr. F got Bam Bam up. He's carrying him around. He's 295. And there's a stampede. The Cowboys counted him. Yes, sir. Freebirds have come to the ring. And boy, we've got a tense situation at ringside. The Freebirds and Sting. They're holding the Cowboy. There goes the referee, and Gordy is on the top rope with that Oriental spike and down to the neck of the Cowboy. We mentioned it before. Gordy is a master of the Oriental spike, and the Freebirds are kicking away at Cowboy Bill Watts. And bam, bam, all 295 pounds, the Freebirds have punished and hammered Cowboy Bill Watts in that spike. They've got to be careful. And the dressing rooms are being emptied. Here comes Chavo Guerrero, Hacksaw Duggan, and Dr. Naz are coming out. But how Gordy's had that spike on all this time, and we've got war breaking loose all over the ring here in the UWF. Cowboy Bill Watts is down. Duggan is kicking away, and bam, bam, Gordy. Terry Taylor, but Watts has had the Oriental spike on him for so long, and Watts is laying motionless. The Freebirds came to the ring with Gilbert. We're going to keep it right here. Watts, they had the Oriental spike on him for a long, long time, and he has not moved in the last several moments. This crowd here is hushed. Cowboy Bill Watts has been, brutalized by the Freebirds. I've never seen anybody with the Oriental, I've never seen Gordy with the Oriental spike on anybody like he had it on Watts for such a long period of time. The people are standing and it's hushed. Watts bleeding from the mouth.
You know, I've always stood for what I've believed in. It may not sometimes be the most popular, and it may not be easy, but I've always believed that you got to stand for what you say, and you got to try to back it up. When I got involved with the hot stuff and threw my hat back in the ring, I knew I'd be live bait. And Freebirds, I know I've stuck in your craw a long time, because this is where you first gained your fame. When you blinded the junkyard dog. And he was out for 9 long weeks. And I kicked your tail then, and I forced you to leave, and I embarrassed you. And now you've run rampant. You've just run roughshod over the whole world, and you've built your reputation, and you've built your courage. And you've come back, and you've jumped me. But you made one fatal mistake. I am still breathing.
This crowd is roaring sissy. It's all over the place. They're calling him a sissy. Oh, yeah. Well, he's going to take care of it. Cowboy Bill Watts is going to do some taking care of. As Michael Hayes made a comment that if people didn't quit calling him a prissy sissy, that he wasn't going to do any more commentary. He wasn't going to do any more color, so now he's going to take care of it himself. Well, let's take the camera to let's listen to what he's got to say.
Now look, I've about had it with this. I got this dingbat broad out here who's scared her bitch. She's crazy about me calling me a sissy. I got 2 people calling me a sissy, and the whole person that started this was Ted DiBiase. So Ted DiBiase, if you're anywhere listening, if you think you see a sissy, you come slap one.
Very, very interesting and a volatile situation here on the Universal Wrestling Federation. Michael Hayes and his brothers last week, and now Michael Hayes has challenged Ted DiBiase. And there you see Teddy. And he didn't have to be asked twice, and this one's breaking down. DiBiase and Michael Hayes, and there's no match schedule here, but it's going to be taken care of right here. Michael Hayes, high elevation. DiBiase with left hand. And a right hand, and there goes Michael Hayes. Hayes fighting back on Ted DiBiase. There's Buddy Roberts now, 2-on-1. That's the way the Freebirds like it. But here comes Terry Taylor. Terry Taylor tattoos Buddy Roberts. And now it's 2-on-2. Let's find out how tough the Freebirds are when the odds are even. And DiBiase clothesline. Hayes and DiBiase locked up, and there's Gordy. And now it's 3-on-2. It's 3-on-2, and the Taylor is hurt. But wait a minute. Here comes the big man. The big hacksaw is hitting the ring. And he's got Gordy, and that's what he's wanted. The two stallions are locking horns. Hayes is being rammed into the turnbuckle. And it's breaking loose at the convention center. The Freebirds. Duggan followed Gordy outside. Roberts and Hayes all the way outside the rail. There's chairs flying. They're trying to get this thing settled down. Come on, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, they're getting it back together here. There was no match, but DiBiase answered a challenge. They tried to get the odds 2 and 3-on-1. Gordy's throwing chairs in the ring. It's breaking down, and we'll be right back. And they're standing tall. Don't go away. We'll be right back with more action right after this timeout.
But you made one fatal mistake. I am still breathing.
Introducing from parts unknown, excuse me, you know, I had the biggest laugh after last week out here, and I would publicly, right now, like to thank 3 people. They're the greatest tag team I've ever seen in my life, the Fabulous Freebirds, because they have made it possible for me now to have a souvenir, and it's Cowboy Bill Watts' own belt. Ladies and gentlemen, Hot Stuff International is very proud to present to you at 270 pounds from every man's nightmare, Sting the Blade Runner. His opponent from St. Petersburg, Florida, at 220 pounds, Red Wayne Sawyer. This match, 1 fall or 10-minute time limit.
Well, you better laugh while you can until your jaw gets wired shut, because he's the guy. Yes, sir. Brett Sawyer got over there with an intimidation factor on Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. Remember, yeah, Cowboy Bill Watts. He got a very personal introduction to that belt last week, and then it all broke down. But you heard Cowboy Bill Watts' statement earlier in this hour. Brother, you're not dealing with a normal man, Freebirds. I hope you're listening to this, because you're not dealing with a normal human being when it comes to getting even. He is the master at getting more than his share. Blade Runner Sting here and Brett Wayne Sawyer here at the Universal Wrestling Federation. Still to come, the Missing Link versus Kamala in this hour. Nice takedown by Brett Sawyer. The UWF on tour, ladies and gentlemen, coming to great state of Texas, El Paso on the 14th of July, Lubbock on the 15th of July. We'll also be in Odessa on the 16th of July. And the big one in the Reunion Arena in Dallas, Sunday, July 27th. Perhaps the biggest wrestling card ever assembled anywhere, bar none, on the 27th. We'll tell you more about that in upcoming weeks. Brett Sawyer, nice leapfrog. High body press by Sawyer. Lateral press. Brett Sawyer's so quick. A lot of people thought that last week would be the last time that we would see Hot Stuff International. Obviously, that's not the case. His ranks have been depleted, though, however. But he's such a conniving, devious young man that it's obvious that he has other things in mind. Nice pitting predicament there, roll-up by Brett Sawyer, and Sting with the obvious size, and I would say the strength advantage over that man, Brett Sawyer. The other advantage he has is he has a man whose mouth is so big he probably has 3 lips. Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert sauntering around at ringside with Cowboy Bill Watts' belt. And if you think, well, I don't want to tell you what I think. It's not really professional, but be that as it may, Sting now taking over on Brett Sawyer in the corner, choking away this young man with a tremendous amount of raw talent. Nice reversal by Sawyer, and Brett Sawyer goes to the corner. Sting showing that he has gained some experience. Under the tutelage of Hot Stuff, Eddie Gilbert moved out of the way very quickly. There's the mouth. He's a marked man, and Sting now with a high elbow, tremendous elevation. This man's very agile at 270 pounds. But he's a little raw there around the edges. I'm not trying to tell him how to do his business, but perhaps if he'd have attacked that leg, grapevine the leg, he could have had a pinning predicament there. Remember, coming up, Kamala against the missing link. That's coming up. Also, ladies and gentlemen, the Fantastics are on this program. Terry Taylor badly lacerated in that last match. And remember, it's Terry Gordy and Buddy Roberts against Hacksaw Duggan and Terry Taylor. That's scheduled to be later in the hour. As Sting rams the head of Brett Sawyer into that top turnbuckle. I know Ted DiBiase will be more than happy to take TT's place, but Terry Taylor, I got to think, is going to be in that squared circle we're looking at right now if there's any way that he can. Suplex, and again, a very nonchalant type lateral press as Sting is really punishing Brett Sawyer here on the Universal Wrestling Federation. Clothesline. And Sting now has really opened up on the offensive in the last few moments, and Sawyer once again powers out. Sting with a right hand right to the side of the head of Brett Sawyer. Sawyer being hammered by the bigger man, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert's lone remaining member of Hot Stuff International, but that list is, I'm sure, soon to grow and grow deep in number. You know, ladies and gentlemen, here last week when Cowboy Bill Watts counted down Terry Bam Bam Gordy, obviously Bill Watts not the official, and Brett Sawyer coming back. So the belt did not change hands last week. As we mentioned last week, a disqualification there rendered the official out of the ring. It really broke down. And this one's breaking down. Great drop kick by Brett Sawyer. And Brett Wayne Sawyer now using his quickness, taking over on the bigger man, all the way up to the top. High-risk maneuver here for Sawyer, and Sting moves out of the way, and Sawyer comes right down the mat. Sawyer was attempting a flying body press. He was really up there too long, and Sting saw it coming, moved out of the way very, very aggressively, and now Sting, look at the strength of this man. Just walks away from Brett Sawyer. The young man from St. Petersburg. There's the flying body press by Sting. This should be it, and it is. 1, 2, 3, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with more of the Universal Wrestling Federation. It's going to be Kamala versus the Missing Link, and that match is coming up next.
From Devastation Incorporated with General Skandor Akbar at 409 pounds, Kamala, the Ugandan Giant.
There you see him, ladies and gentlemen, 409 pounds. Jim Ross back with you on Universal Wrestling Federation. I've been joined with Frank Dusek, and this one should be sensational, Frank. This one should be sensational. We're about to hear Bang Your Head. That's going to bring the Missing Link and Dark Journey to ringside.
It surely is. Two of the most unorthodox wrestlers in the sport today in the ring at the same time.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, at one time, General Skandor Akbar was the manager of the Missing Link. And I have heard many, many accounts. He really misused and abused this man. And the Link he despises Akbar, he despises Kamala. This a long, long history in this situation right here.
It's more like an animal that was abused by his master. The Link definitely has nothing but hatred for General Skandor Akbar. Took him, I understand, out of the circus, out of the freak show, made him a wrestler, but from what I understand, never paid him and definitely abused him. He's like an abused animal. He sees General Skandor Akbar, his mind or whatever he uses goes completely blank.
Their opponents now entering the ring with Dark Journey at 260 pounds from parts unknown, the Missing Link.
Like two animals, Jim, two animals in the ring.
Kamala's shot puts down the most awesome man, but not to the head of the Missing Link, as it's Kamala the Missing Link. These two men at one time were stablemates, and Kamala, now look at Kamala. Kamala walking back over to Akbar, and obviously That's not going to work.
Kamala's accustomed to having his own way in that ring, and when he sees a man like the Link, who, when he chops him to the head, doesn't fall on a chop that would drop an elephant, doesn't drop the missing link, it definitely has Kamala wondering.
Kamala's got to go, he's got to attack another portion of the anatomy, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's adapted very quickly here on the Universal Wrestling Federation, this contest.
I believe General Skandar Akbar is to be given the credit there, Jim. I don't believe Kamala would have had the thought to do that.
There she is. Very attractive Dark Journey, her man, the missing link, and I don't feel real comfortable with Dark Journey being out there with General Skandar Akbar, who has no character, no scruples whatsoever, as we see Kamala thundering those big chops into the missing link, and the link is, well, he's so unorthodox. Look at Akbar, he's wanting to open up on him, to really take over on the missing link. Kamala goes to the corner, and the link moves out of the way. And look at Akbar. Now, Akbar's not got any business up there. Get him down, Fergie. He has no business on the apron whatsoever. Look at Dark Journey. There's a big headbutt, and down goes 409-pound Kamala.
There's something you won't see often, Jim. See the big Kamala hit the deck. I'm sure Kamala, in his mind right now, is wondering what's going on. Never has the big man been knocked down like that.
Akbar trying to orientate the big man somewhat. We're seeing some bodies running by here, ladies and gentlemen, just moments ago. There's Hollywood John Tatum, and he took off his boot, and he's working over the missing link. Jack Victory and Hollywood John Tatum. That's
And Missy Hyatt, yes. The link is down. The link is down, and they're working over.
Dark Journey's come to the aid of her man. Oh, look at that. She's trying to get Tatum off of the missing link, who's worked over. Now look at both men.
Missy Hyatt with that Gucci purse.
Oh! Man, she hit her right in the face with a purse. And Dark Journey is limp.
And the one man.
Here comes the missing link back in the ring, and they're scattering. It's sickening. 2 men and a woman. They came to get Dark Journey, no doubt about it. They came to get Dark Journey, and she is motionless.
And the missing link is confused. He's like a dazed animal looking around the
Look
link,
at Missy
not
Hyatt.
knowing what to do.
Look at her. Look at the blonde. Look at the blonde, yeah. Really proud of themselves, strutting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is sick, appalling. We'll be right back.
A woman attack one woman.
We'll be right